Hey, this is David from Redneck Garage. This is New Year's Day. I was working on the Jeep today and I was going to get to a video on how I got the bolts out of the windshield on it. That was one of the hardest things, that trying to disassemble the Jeep, what I found the easiest way for me to get them out. And I'm going to go through that for a minute, but just a little rant for a minute of something that I think is just stupid. I was watching YouTube yesterday and saw, I just Googled for paint jobs, so I was just kind of looking to see how other people did restorations of YJs and TJs and things like that. And one of the things that I saw was that there's a trend of people taking tractor paint or enamel paint or Rust-Oleum or spray bombing it, or I think the best one is when somebody takes this bed liner coating and takes a roller and rolls their whole Jeep in this bed liner coating. Let me show you a picture of one. Okay, so that's what it looks like. And at the end of every one of these videos where somebody's done this to their truck, and I don't know what you'd have to do to get this crap off of it. I wouldn't even, it would be impossible for me to tell you. Maybe paint stripper or something could get it off of there to make it look like something again. But at the end of it, they always say, but I think it looks pretty good. Someone lied to you. It doesn't look good. It looks like somebody painted your truck with a roller and bed coating because you were too cheap to buy the right tools, equipment, paint, materials to do it right, to make it look like something. So don't paint your truck in bed liner. It looks like crap. Just don't do it. So this is a video on some of the ways that I was able to get these stupid Torx fasteners out of this Jeep to get the windshield frame off. So these bolts here, man, they are a pain when you run up against them to get your windshield off. You can see I started drilling a center hole in the middle. I'm going to enlarge it out. You kind of just use a drill bit that's small enough to go in the middle. Some shavings. Right here, 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 and here. Now we get down to these. These are a little bit different. These have a nut on the backside, so I'm going to try to get those off without drilling them out. But these are a blind nut. They go into the frame, because if you look at this side over here, you can see the backing plate right there, and where these just have a big hole, that there's a nut on the backside. So on the first time I messed up and went ahead and drilled all these out, and probably what I should have done is try to get the nut off the backside, but I'm going to try on that other side to do that. So as you can see, I'm not really trying to melt it or do anything like that, but I am trying to get that bolt pretty good and hot to break loose that rust. And then there's some Loctite on the back side of it, and let me tell you, they are stuck in there pretty good. They are a pain. Now if you are worried about your paint job, this will damage the paint for sure, trying to get your windshield off. So it's better to try to do this like when you're going to do a restoration. Alright. Okay, this bolt's good and warm, and I'm just going to slowly crank down the pressure. You don't want to get all crazy-fied with it, because it can actually snap. If your ease out snaps, man, that thing it's hardened. So I'm just trying to put a little pressure on it, and eventually you'll hear a snap. There it is. And then we're just going to ease it on out. Once it breaks loose that original part, then it'll come on out. And there's the extracted bolt. You can see kind of where I went through to the end of it, and it popped out with a little bit of heat. It popped those threads off. I guess the only other note I would say on these, I bought a bunch of other, well, look at the hinge. You can see the hinge is loose now. I bought another type of extractor. It was like kind of a spiral one. You put the drill in it, and those are like 24 bucks a piece. And you can see the threads aren't messed up, but you can see there's kind of some kind of like thread lock compound in there. So that's why they won't come out. There's a little gasket in there. Looks like a shim they put in from the factory. But yeah, I tried these other ones and they sucked. They got stuck in there. So we're ready to take the rest of it off. Now I started putting in the dashboard, which was probably a mistake. I'm gonna have to pull out part of that again to get these bolts out, and to get the bolts in for the new thing. This dashboard needs to be removed, so I'm gonna have to pop it back off. It's only held in place by 3 or 4 torx bolts. I got new speakers installed, so I gotta unhook that. But other than that, you can kind of see there. Other than that, it's not too bad. So we'll take that back out, and I'll be ready to pull the windshield off and unhook the wiper motor, which is loose right now. So that's the this is the expensive ones that I bought. They're like $23, $23 a piece. The Alden bolt out. They sucked. They sucked compared to just the regular old standby. The problem was that they just got stuck. I couldn't get them out. I did get one bolt out with one, but you put them in your drill and you reverse it. But I'm telling you, this is a 5/16 size too. It didn't work well. So the regular ease outs are the ones you want to use on this job. Now what I ended up doing once I got the frame off is that I noticed that this thing had gotten some pretty good damage. I think maybe it got rolled at some point. That's the only thing I can explain. But on the side of this windshield frame, there's some pretty good damage. And you can actually go and buy a new frame, complete frame, for like $149 shipped. So I went ahead and ordered one of those. I've got a new window, new adhesive, and that'll be another video on how to put the window in. But rather than fool around with trying to get this thing straightened out and put Bondo in a windshield frame, I just ordered a new one. And it's supposed to be rainy and snowy here in Nashville for the next couple of days. So after that, be probably a week or two before we get some nice weather and I can get out in the redneck driveway to work on the Jeep. Happy New Year.